could you tell us a bit about your journey with expanding your brand on online platforms?
For sure. I wasn't as into social media as I am now. I think I've been kind of building my brand Emperiam for about, I don't know, like 6 years, I'd say. Once I started being more involved in the cosplay community, meeting photographers, meeting other cosplayers, kind of doing that thing and seeing what they did with cosplay and being like, oh, I could totally do that. I want to do that. That sounds like so much fun. You just kind of get caught up into it. You learn the tips and tricks and you meet people, you share ideas, you share posts. But with the online kind of atmosphere, there's a lot that will like fuck with your brain after a while. Like I've been in it for so long that I can pinpoint and predict what posts are going to do well based on past metrics or whatever. But just because a post does well doesn't always mean that I love that post or I love that work. Sometimes cosplayers will have to do things, especially if it's their job. If cosplay is their job, they're going to have to do things that are trendy that they may not want to do, but they know will get them the certain metrics to, afford their life. And a lot of the time, some of the posts that do really well are the posts that you don't try really hard on. So I think that depletes a lot of like energy and willingness to make the big huge costumes, right? If like a selfie does better than a pro photo shot, that's like, oh well, then what's the point in putting all that effort in if a selfie is going to get better likes, right? Like the metrics are kind of skewing with what or how you value your cosplay.
Yeah, I find that's a problem for a lot of people within like communities where they have to put out their brand and they have to put out their image on online platforms. And it is difficult too because it seems that like even with models who have all of these amazing photographers that are doing their shoots, they could do a selfie with barely any makeup, and then all of a sudden people will put that picture to them, and it's like that's one of their more iconic photos. That's a photo they
Right.
took after like 5 minutes after waking up out of bed, and I think there's beauty in that because it shows that like it's not just posturing. A lot of people do like just a simple regular person just like you and me who can take their camera and appreciate how they look in that period of time and they want to show the world it. That's awesome, but at the same time like I can understand where you have 15 or 20 pieces of content that you put out, nothing hit, and that one thing that you thought was a throwaway post, that is what blows up, and then now people are kind of expecting that that content that made you popular is kind of like what you should start doing, and then you start swaying everything you do in that direction. It is a little difficult because then you're forced to play ball, but I feel like that's something a lot of people have to encounter at some point in their careers, right?
Yeah, like if you want to, I don't know. I don't feel that I've like made it online, but if that's your main goal is to do well on social media, you have to experiment with things. You have to make all sorts of content and see A, what you like making, and B, what performs well. I don't know. It always puts such a bad taste in my mouth, like talking about like what performs well versus what doesn't, because it's always changing. Like the waters are always kind of changing for like what's popular or what's going to do well, because it's just the views of people change. When Instagram first started, it was all pictures of food and like just little blips of like what your day was like. But now it's these, I'm doing it too. I'm not saying that I'm above it because I do it. Heavily curated, and you only see the highlights of this person's life as opposed to, what they're actually experiencing or what they're actually going through. So I think the main thing to remember about social media is that it is a game. Like you're playing the game, you're in it. If fame or whatever is what you're looking for, you have to do XYZ to get this to get in this way. And like it's all, let it just be a game. Like don't let it take over your life. Don't let it consume you, because it's the worst feeling when that happens and you feel like you can't do anything right because you didn't get as many likes as the last post. You just make things that make you happy, and then the people will come. That's it. I did I even answer your question? I feel like I tangent every time you ask me something.
No, no, you answered it, but I tangent all the
Okay.
time too. Don't worry. So in that case, do you find yourself nowadays working spending more time on your social media and your analytics in regards to your previous posts than the specifics and details of your cosplay?
Not so much right now, but definitely before that was I was heavily invested. I made YouTube videos about it of like what I found doing well and how you can do well on social media. And like I look back at that now, not like hating that because like that's what I was interested in and that's what I wanted to do, but I mean because social media is always changing and the rules are always different and nothing is really going to stick unless you're already popular. Like it's you're playing basically a lottery with social media, and I think I learned that, and I was like, well, I'm not going to let someone else's stupid made up computer pattern affect my life. Like I'm going to engage with Instagram in a way that I want to engage with Instagram. I'm going to make the content that I want to make. I don't care if it does well because I'm going to just make the things that I want to do. And I think what took me from religiously looking at Instagram, finding out what's going to make my post do well, giving away all the tips and whatever, is I made my own website. And I think every cosplayer, if you do this, and actually anybody, not just cosplayers, you need to make a space on the internet that is purely your own, to show off your own work, to make the content you want to make, post it there so that nothing can be taken away from you. Because one day Instagram could literally just close up shop and be like, see ya, and then all your shit is gone, right? So that's kind of the risk we all take with social media, is like we think it's just going to be there forever, but it's really not. So if you want to do these things and you want to keep them and have them, cherish, make your own space on the internet, do your own thing, make your own products, etc.